Superhero suits are never not cool, and while I've talked about 10 of them in part 1 of this list, there are plenty more where those came from. So, today on Top 10 Nerd, I'm Adam Andrews, and this is part 2 of the top 10 amazing superhero suits we can't believe exist. Coming in at number 10 is Agent Venom. Someone with a name like Eugene has no right to be a bully, but that's exactly what Eugene Flash Thompson was to Peter Parker, Spider-Man back in high school. Mr. Thompson stayed Peter Parker's bully until they left high school, and then the two became friends. Flash would eventually become a gym teacher, but then joined the military, where he unfortunately lost both of his legs. This loss prompted him to join a government program similar to the Super Soldier program that created Captain America, only this time Flash was bonded with the Venom symbiote and became Secret Agent Venom. As well as giving Flash legs again, the symbiote granted him all the abilities of Venom, which he then mixed with his military training to create one of the coolest suits in character designs out there. Venom was always cool on his own, but when Eugene had the symbiote, it had this slim, tactical, armored look that was combined with the powers the symbiote would usually have, but with a few extra things like missile launchers and technology morphing and all this cool stuff. It's just an awesome suit. Number 9, the Muramasa Armor. You know, a lot of suits of armor do all these crazy cool things like being actually alive, or adapting to situations, or traversing the vacuum of space. Well, not this suit. It essentially had one main boon, but it's probably the coolest armor I have ever seen. In the all-new Wolverine series, X-23 gets her hands on this special suit of armor called the Muramasa Armor. The word Muramasa may be familiar to you if you are a fan of Wolverine comics. The Muramasa blade was forged by the legendary swordsmith Muramasa, but using a piece of Wolverine's soul. It's the second blade made by the swordsmith, and it's extremely durable and capable of cutting through substances on the molecular level, even adamantium. More than that though, the sword is also capable of greatly reducing the efficiency of a superhumanly fast healing rate, meaning that the sword is the only thing on Earth that can truly end the life of Wolverine or others like him. Well, this armor was made for Laura Kinney in order to protect from the broken Muramasa blade fragments that were being used against her. But other than its absolutely amazing blue look, the coolest thing about this armor is that it's made by the soul fragments of Wolverine, Gabby, and Daken. Family bonds, man. They always save you in the end. Number 8, Exo Manowar. The armor from Exo Manowar is probably one of the most awesome suits ever. The alien suit itself was actually worshipped like a god by an entire race of beings who could never find anyone worthy enough to wear it. Anyone who tried would simply just lose their life. But that's probably because the suit ain't ever interacted with a human yet. We rock! So, when the suit interacted with a barbarian Visigoth known as Eric of Dacia in 402 AD, a successful pairing was found, and this suit proved itself to be one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It helped Eric not only to escape the capture of the aliens who captured him, but it even helped him to become a king. The armor is a near unstoppable offensive and defensive tool, able to travel the universe. The suit and its wearer were instrumental in saving Earth from an alien scourge called the Torment, who seemed to have a thing for ending all life across the universe, and I'd say that's a pretty cool feat to have. Number 7, the Sunbox Armor. You know, Batman made part 1 of this list with some of his most powerful armors, but I kind of left a big one out of that. That would be the Sunbox Armor. In Justice League number 24, the League finds itself facing the Forger of Worlds, who is attempting to reshape the DC multiverse into an authoritarian, justice wins all the time landscape. The Forger has recruited several powerhouses from the DC universe in order to do this, and you may be surprised to know that includes Batman. To face the League, Batman brings out his latest and, quote, final suit. Using the combined power of Metron's Mobius chair and Element X, Batman created the Sunbox Armor, which has all the capability to take on and protect from the Justice League itself, but that was not its purpose. This giant suit uses a series of modified mother boxes, codenamed the Sunbox, to alter minds on the cellular level. This allowed Batman to create his version of paradise in a potential future by forcibly changing the minds of the Justice League. But on top of that, the suit can literally adapt to fit specific situations, granting abilities like altering gravity, teleportation, and hijacking any technology. But the best part is that Batman built this suit with his own skills all by himself. Number 6, Darkhawk. Chris Powell debuted in the 90s as a super armored hero known as Darkhawk. His suit, and by extension his powers, were unlocked after discovering a transforming amulet that turned him into a superhero with untapped potential. Kind of like Blue Beetle. That untapped potential has been one of the coolest parts of the character's suit, because it just keeps getting better and better and better as the character evolves. For example, originally Powell assumed that the Darkhawk armor formed over his body, but eventually he learned that the armor was actually an android that was housed in another dimension that would trade places with his body when he touched the amulet. Darkhawk is kind of an underutilized character, but because he's so cool, in the Infinity Countdown storyline, after Powell meets another armored Darkhawk named Talon, his own armor was finally unlocked for its true potential, and his bond with the android body was repaired, which allowed him to access other modes of the armor that included an incredibly powerful battle mode with firepower out the wang, as well as an upgraded flight mode that allowed him to travel even more quickly through space. Through this, he learned of the Shi'ar origins of his suit and of the fraternity of Raptors, that are like the over-the-top super cool space cops of the Marvel Universe. With that info, and through an interesting series of events, the Darkhawk armor was unlocked to its full potential with new abilities that included transforming into a giant spaceship mecha thing if needed, and that's just super cool. Number 5. Superior Iron Man. This armor first fully debuted in the Superior Iron Man story when Tony's moral axis was switched. Basically what happened is Scarlet Witch had cast a spell which accidentally inverted the alignment of a good number of Marvel's premier heroes and villains. Among them was Tony Stark. When this was reversed so Tony would go back from being evil to good again, the super smart Iron Man found a way to shield himself, resisting the reversal back to being a hero. The suit that this corrupted Iron Man wears is based off of symbiote biology, meaning the process of the liquid metal suiting up is completely psionic. It's basically almost alive, not having its own intelligence, but it can form into an armor without the user inside if it's commanded to. But if the EndoSim suit based on symbiotes part wasn't cool enough for you, it comes with a whole host of features. Apart from being psionically bonded to the user, the suit features enhanced repulsors that can even hurt those opponents who can absorb energy. It can alter its size and mass, use thrusters to deliver more powerful punches, and it completely shields the user from sonic attacks that would normally hurt a symbiote. It's also super stylish, which is always cool. Number 4. Batman's Justice Thanagarian suit. Yes, Batman is on this list again, and I am not sorry because this man just has too many absolutely amazing suits. So we have Batman, but you combine Batman with the amazing art from Alex Ross, and you've got the keys to success. While Kingdom Come is what most people may think of for Alex Ross, what I want to talk about is the Elseworlds story Justice that explored modern versions of the Silver Age Justice League as they took on the Legion of Doom. In the story, the Justice League had been infected with machine worms and turned against each other, which required them to find additional protection. Enter the entire team suiting up in Thanagarian armor for their final battle against the Legion of Doom. All the armor here is super cool, but Batman dons this black and red suit inspired by the design of Batman 66's Batmobile and the suit of Adam West. This suit comes onto the page in a huge way, and it's absolutely amazing to see, but then at the same time, it honors the legacy of the character itself with a hint of nostalgia, and I'm just kind of in love with it. I don't know. Number 3. King. Just like Batman, Black Panther made part 1 of this list as well, and that's because Black Panther has the coolest looks in Marvel Comics. I'm not apologizing for that statement. But one of my absolute favorite Black Panther suits belongs to the T'Challa of Earth 18136. First appearing in Exiles Volume 3 Number 6 in August 2018, this version of T'Challa goes simply by King. And the Earth he hails from is a dimension where all the characters are basically straight out of a western, and they all wore suitably fashioned costumes. But King's was probably the best of the bunch. It combined elements of the modern Black Panther costume with a fashionable western look. King's diamond necklace, for example, sits atop a black shirt with silver Wakandan patterns down the center. But of course, he's got a belted holster with a big iron on his hip, and it's all topped off with a flat black cowboy hat. It's just incredibly simple, but so classic, and you know that it's all adorned with vibranium, making this suit not only the most stylish around, but also offering more protection than most other regular western ensembles. Number 2. Wonder Woman Godly Armor. Dark Knight's death metal was a huge multiversal conflict in the DC universe, and while that is not at all uncommon for DC, Dark Knights featured some of the coolest stuff we've ever seen, like the Batman Who Laughs, for example. Another example would be in Dark Knight's death metal number 7, which features a titanic battle between Wonder Woman and the Batman Who Laughs, both of whom have been amplified with godlike powers and cosmic awareness. But Wonder Woman's power-up was displayed physically by the fact that she was now completely golden. Her power comes from combining her lasso of truth with death metal found in the World Forge. This act fills Wonder Woman with anti-crisis energy, which is basically the energies of justice, like the emotional spectrum, the speed force, etc, etc. Those embody unity and the act of creating a legacy that connects past and present. This makes her strong enough to go toe-to-toe with the Darkest Night and the embodiment of crisis energy, while also making her turn completely golden, just like her lasso. And it's just the absolute coolest look for this character that I think many of us were just completely blown away by. And finally, in at number 1, it's the Dark Knight Returns. I feel like I don't actually have to even say what suit I'm talking about here, but for anyone who is unsure, yes, we are talking about the anti-Superman armor donned by a grizzled old Batman in the Dark Knight Returns. This armor isn't crazy powerful like a lot of other Batman armors. It had enough juice to take on the Man of Steel for just long enough to get the job done, and it relied heavily on a weakened Superman. It was also not particularly technologically advanced, requiring the suit to be hooked up with actual wires to a power source. But everything about it, from its gritty, chunky look with the spiked up boots and overly large proportions, to the scene that features the armor in the first place, to how it effectively portrays the raw, rough, and fed up nature of Batman in this story, the Dark Knight Returns suit isn't the most impressive suit, but it holds a place in the heart of many a Batman fan for just how iconic it really is. And that's the list. Thank you so much for watching here on Top 10 Nerd. I've been your host, Adam Andrews. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you all on the flippy flop. Peace out, nerds!